These boils will not only be physically present, but they will inflict severe pain. They stand as an obvious reality that God alone is to be worshiped. That's a point here. And that every person who dares to defy His worthiness by worshiping the beast will receive the painfulness of His judgment. I too think it is often the case that we as believers conclude in our own lives that God has nothing to do with pain. That He would not bring pain, that He would not inflict pain, that He would not cause pain at times in our life. Now I recognize that pain to some degree is subjective in our thoughts. And there are moments by virtue of things happening in our life where we can clearly see this is the hand of the evil one in my life trying to suppress and control and manipulate my conscious choices. He's begging for my worship, and the way in which He leads us in that direction is not by worshiping Him, but by worshiping anything, something besides the Lord. He does this in particular ways in our life, and so sometimes when that brings about pain, we can trace that back to the evil desires and influence of Satan in our life. But there are often times, if you're honest with yourself, that you have been running from God in rebellion after professing faith in Christ and walking with the Lord, in which pain was brought into and ushered into your life as a means of discipline so as to rekindle a fire or a desire of affection for the Lord. And if you are honest, you can trace that back to the Lord's dealing because of how it ends. It ends, hopefully, prayerfully, if you're in that season right now, with a desire to love, serve, and follow Jesus because you recognize that He alone is sovereign and you don't belong to yourself. But there are often movements of God in the lives of His people that can be traced back in Old and New Covenants in which the discipline of God, or the pain of God, if you will, is brought into their life so as to lead them to a concluding thought that God alone is sovereign, of which will be displayed in His judgments. You can recognize that in the here and now, or you will recognize it in the soon and coming